Alright guys, how you doing? Um so this show is not even named yet, unfortunately. I'll name it after. I'll just name it something like announcement. But anyways, the reason I wanted to talk to you guys real quick. Let me see here. Let me get that camera up over the screen. Let me get that camera up all the way actually. Okay. Oh, under that. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to make it so you guys can see me, but at the same time, I wanted to share screen, so I don't know how that's gonna go. I'm already live. All right. Anyways, okay. So let me pull something up for you, just so you guys have a visual. All right. So there's a few things I want to talk about here, right? So I hope you guys can see my screen. In fact, I'm going to pull up another device so I can keep track of how this looks. So today I'm going to be doing a video that is extremely important. And the reason I say that is, I mean, I already have a show that I was trying to do last night, and I don't know what happened. It might have been my computer, but it didn't really make sense because I was still there. Like I was able to chat, like type and everything. So I don't know what happened to that stream last night. That was weird, but it's a good intro. Because what we're going to be talking about is exactly that, that situation, along with a couple others that you haven't heard about anywhere else. And I'm not going to give you the information just yet, but only because, I've done a lot of research, so I'd like to, present that research and not have someone else try to steal my work. But on top of that, there has been some huge developments with the coronavirus. And I've been doing my best. I understand. And this is what I get. A lot of truthers are actually thinking that the coronavirus is BS. It's all partisan plan. Now, the one thing that I could see is because Bill Gates was so heavily involved, and 3 months prior to the breakout, had invested, and it's very shady. And they ran all those simulations, and what would happen if, and then all of a sudden it happens. Pretty shady. You got the president of China personally writing a letter to Bill Gates, to Bill Gates, but the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which, when you look into it, it's wicked shady. We've gone over them a few times. I saw another YouTuber yesterday do somewhat deep dive into it, and there's a lot of shady stuff going on with Bill Gates, especially when it comes to this coronavirus. But what I can see is people thinking that this is all just leading to a forced vaccination. Now, that could be true. But what I'm saying is that this coronavirus is real. It's a lot deadlier than being presented by the tremendously more deadly than the WHO, the World Health Organization, is putting it out. People just call them WHO, the World Health Organization. I mean, they've been playing it down since day one. They declared a emergency a week too late, maybe 2 weeks too late. Um, when I did my first video on this, I might actually put that as my feature video, because when it comes to stories like this, you get the best information at the beginning. Then the waters start to muddy over time. But at the beginning, you get some good, solid info. I've learned that when it comes to big stories, you need to get on it quick before they start whitewashing and muddying the waters. They have their campaigns of shills, and you know, there's certain people who are paid to come off as legit because they're telling half truths, but you know, in the end, there's an agenda. It's like, listen, hey, you can say this, you can say that, it'll make you look legit, but in the end, the main goal is X, and that goes for many different situations. So there's a few different things I'm going to be covering in my next video, and so much research has gone into this. I mean, not only is it going to be what the show I was attempting to do last night, but a lot more stuff that's come to light today. It's going to be a loaded show. I would love to take calls. It's just this show is going to be so loaded, so we'll just play it by ear as far as calls. Maybe I'll just do the show, and then, you guys can digest it, and then we'll do calls after, or the next day, or later on, depending on what time the show is. Which brings me to my next point. Now, do you guys want, I usually do shows at night, and especially now that it's just Olivia and I, I do it when she's asleep. But what I do with her is I don't like I see parents, they just stick a screen in front of their kid, and that's their way of parenting, and I just find it sad. Sometimes if people try to do it with my child, I tell them, hey, no, but at the same time, I'm conflicted because, if we're still around, I mean, when she gets older, if, we don't ruin the world before then with everything going on, or if, we are not, as close to end days as it seems when you look at the signs that we were told to look for that are everywhere. But anyways, when she gets older, it's going to be all technology. I don't want her to be, slow when it comes to technology. So what I do is I have 1 hour screen time. And I was thinking, like, during that 1 hour screen time, like in the afternoon, as long as I don't have school, or, they don't call me in, then I could just do the show at that time. I just don't know how well that will be for the audience. I know for a lot of the audience, that's actually better. For other people in the audience, that's not good. They prefer the night shows. So we might just try it out. An afternoon show, I don't know, 4, 5 o'clock, and then, we digest it. And, because you know what? I think there's still some, there's some loose ends that still need to be tied up, that I think might be tied up today on a couple stories I'm working on. And, it's going to be a lot. But anyways, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I mean, just check out this chart. This is the reporting of the coronavirus. All right, coronavirus. Now they just call it the COVID-19. Global cases by John Hopkins. All right. So this is global. The red represents new cases, and then the yellow represents of those the ones that fully have recovered. Now that doesn't mean the ones that didn't recover are dead. It just means that they are still sick or asymptomatic. Well, no, they wouldn't be asymptomatic if they already tested positive. Because when you're asymptomatic, it's you're not showing. It's hard to. Do you know how they test you, by the way? I heard that they did come up with one new way, but mainly it's just like you ever go to the doctors and they take your temperature, like with that little thing, they put it up to your head. Yeah, that's the amazing technology being used around the world to stop this from spreading. When everyone said it was 7 to 10 days latency or incubation period, I was saying 14 plus. Now they're saying 24 days. Now, most people will show symptoms in about 14 days, but everybody's different. Some people start showing symptoms. It takes like 24 days. There's been some cases, the longest someone has gone from getting the virus to, and this is why the Princess cruise ship is such a great case study. And I hate saying that because it dehumanizes the people. But, I'm just being real. One person went 27 days before symptoms. And some people don't get it as bad as others. It depends. It's shown, we all know that the HIV strand is within this. There is no knowledge of what the long-term effects are. Yeah, people do recover. Some people do recover. But what are the long-term effects? We don't know that. We're not going to know that for a long time. And we have, a lot more problems, right? We need to prevent people from getting in the first place. Which, like I always say, they were way too slow on it. And certain countries like Iran and Italy, especially in Milan, did horrible jobs of containing it, let people roam free with the virus from China. Milan is in real bad shape. Iran, put it this way: Afghanistan. If you call it a government, but their government shut down the border with Iran. So did Turkey. So did Iraq. So did every single one that bought. So did not Syria. Syria's on the other side. So did every single country that borders Iran shut down their borders. Was it Kazakhstan? Maybe I think has a little bit of a border with them. Every single country that touches them literally shut down their borders with Iran. And Iran is similar to China in that you're not going to get the real numbers out of them. Like we saw after the Soleimani strike when we took them out, all they care about is optics and, how they end up looking in the end, saving face. We blasted their number 2 guy. They shot a bunch of rockets, and we already knew it was coming. We got in the bunkers, no casualties. Had there been heavy casualties, they knew, there would be a almost disproportionate response as promised by the president, and he's never set a red line and had it crossed and not did what he said. And they know that. And that's important when it comes to warfare. When you set red lines, that stays. They cross it, even if it's not something you're too happy about doing, you're going to have to carry out whatever you said. Now, there's some diplomacy that can go on, and it's all about saving face sometimes. Anyways, the point is, we're not going to get good numbers out of them. But all the signs are there. And the numbers that they have put out are staggering. And just knowing that it's so much more than that, just like in China, it's extremely concerning. You look at this by date. So, okay, January 22nd, around the 24th is when I started realizing this is a problem, right? 24th, 25th. So you see 25th, they start to go up. On the 27th, that's when I basically put out an alert. This is heading in a direction where it's going to be, you're not going to be able to stop the spread. Too many people, because of the incubation period and how long people are asymptomatic and the travel that was allowed, it was, it was clear as day. And then you look as it progresses, except these aren't the real numbers because most of the cases are in China and they are not reporting them correctly. Now Iran is starting to get up there in cases and they're not reporting them correctly. Now places like Italy and Milan, as well as the Princess cruise ship, those are more accurate numbers. And what we're seeing, though, it's not the numbers, it's the spread, or as they call it, the I naught number. Now, at first, back on January 27th, I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was like, is this too high? But the math worked out, and I said, hey, the I naught was as high as, what did I say, 3.7. Turns out, and then the other day I said 5.0. Now they're saying it could be as high as 6.0. And I don't want to fanmonger, and anybody who knows me knows I actually take offense with fanmongers when they're doing it just for profit or whatever their reason is. Maybe they really believe it, but they're scaring people for no reason. And I'm not saying you should be scared. In the U.S., so far so good. There was a little bit scary there in Illinois for a minute because we had someone get transmitted, and this is early on, and it's happened more since, but somebody transmitted that didn't come from China. So that is very concerning, but the U.S. has done a good job. But this is very deadly. And by the way, the mask that you would want is the N95 mask, but there's no guarantees. You would want gloves. You would want glasses that cover the side of your face. Anyway, we're going to talk about all of this tonight, along with some crazy stories, whistleblowers getting offed. And I can't even say the next part, but it's going to blow your mind. There's a lot going on in the world right now. January was a crazy month. In February, it hasn't slowed down a bit. This year, 2020, it's really like something I've never seen before. And what's crazy is, outside of maybe the coronavirus and, the potential war with Iran at the beginning of the year, people don't really realize how serious and how many crazy stories have gone down that they just, because the media, we have the Smith-Mundt Act, which means that we used to have a ban on propaganda. It was lifted by the Obama administration. So now they can lie to us in the news. We all know this. I talk about it all the time because it's probably the most important thing you should know. That's not to say that you can't find some truth, like, sometimes Tucker Carlson, he surprises me. I know it's not what the network wants him to say because nobody else on the network is saying some of the things that he says sometimes. And then you got people like Hannity who follow Q. Basically, his reporting and his news, it's almost like I could do what he does. I mean, he's a professional, but I'm just saying as far as the information. He goes on the Chan, or he has his people go on the Chan boards, find out what Q's putting out, find out what the Q army is figuring out, and then he presents it as news. And it's done him very well. He's number one. But anyways, I don't even know how this is coming out because I'm doing it from my phone on StreamYard. So, and then, you got Twitter. They're testing new ways to fight disinformation. Well, goodbye, First Amendment. And this is just another way to control the information and keep us weak, divided, and I don't want to say stupid, but I think, they want to keep us uninformed. We've all seen, a lot of us have seen this crazy video.
Your own way. Stop playing the victim. We all need to live together. Peace.
Listen to this one. And as somebody who at 35 goes to college, right? You guys have no idea what it's like on these college campuses. Seriously. And I'm not even on like a huge one. It is unbelievable. But I've already gotten in trouble last semester. I told you guys. If you guys don't want to hear the story again, I can tell you. But anyways, check it out.
If y'all didn't know, this is the MSC, and frankly, there's just too many white people in here, and this is a space for people of color. So just be really cognizant of the space that you're taking up, because it does make some of us POCs uncomfortable when we see too many white people in here. It's only been open for 4 days, and frankly, there's the whole university for a lot of y'all to be at, and there's very few spaces for us. So keep that in mind. Thank you.
Very few safe spaces. Wow. People shit. I don't know what.
I'm sorry, but that is not what the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King stood for, lived for, nor should any of us. Are you kidding me? You feel like you are afraid because you're around some white folks? Get out of your own way. Stop playing the victim. We all need to live together peaceably, in unity, loving each other. That's the only way that we're going to keep this country moving in the right direction. We don't want to go back to segregation or Jim Crow days, and that's exactly what you're doing.
I couldn't have said it better myself. But yeah, that's basically what she's basically advocating segregation because there's too many, trashy white people in the way, taking up their safe space. I mean, people say there's no such thing as reverse racism. I say, watch that video. Go to a college campus. Things are worse now, racially, than ever. When I was growing up, me and my boys, if you look at, I'll show you guys, I can show you guys pictures of, me and all my boys.
Public service announcement.
And we were a serious group. We were serious. Our names all still ring bells in the neighborhood. But, it was like the United Nations. We had, Asian guy, Jewish guy, few Portuguese guys, Italian guys, Irish guys, Guatemalan guy, Puerto Rican guy. I mean, big crew. Obviously, Irish guys in Boston, black guys, few black guys actually. Just all different. Haitians. It was like a core group of 15 of us, and we were all different. Armenian. One was Armenian. Omar, of course. He was Muslim. What was he? Moroccan. So, and then of course, one of my best friends, he went in the Navy with me, Vietnamese.
Excuse me.
Vietnamese. I mean, it was just it wasn't like this. Now it's all about race, and this is by design. They want to divide us by class, by color, they want to divide us by our political affiliations. They want to divide us by sex. They want to divide us in every way they can, because divided we are weak. And I know that's kind of like a cliche, but
y'all didn't know this is the MS.
Ugh, get out of my face. And the reason people say it, though, is because it's true. It's true. We are weak, divided. And it's really sad because I just don't see it turning around. If I'm being honest, I do not see this great turnaround coming. I just don't see it. Anyways, I don't even know if this video is coming out, so I kind of even feel weird even going any further. But anyways, it was just a heads up to let you guys know. I'm going to be doing an afternoon show. It's going to be a big show while Olivia has screen time. So I'll be able to do it.